You walk into a crowded room and your body reacts before you can think. Your chest tightens, your senses sharpen. Every sound feels closer than it should. You tell yourself it's nothing, just people, just noise. But your nervous system doesn't agree. And what if that reaction isn't weakness, but a sign that your mind processes the world more deeply than most? Because when you step into a crowded space and feel that sudden tension, there's more happening beneath the surface than you realize. So why does your brain treat crowded places like a potential threat instead of a neutral environment? Here's the idea that doesn't get talked about enough. There may be a hidden psychological reason behind your discomfort, and it's not fragility. It might actually be heightened sensitivity combined with a nervous system that processes the world in high definition. Psychologists describe something called sensory processing sensitivity, studied extensively by Elaine Aron, which suggests that some individuals process stimuli more deeply and intensely. That means sounds don't stay in the background, they stack. Music, conversations, footsteps, a phone vibrating somewhere near you. Your brain doesn't filter them easily. Lights don't just illuminate the room. They reflect off surfaces, flash from screens, create micro-contrasts your mind keeps registering. It's like having too many browser tabs open and none of them fully close. Your nervous system keeps working, and working, and working. Eventually, it feels like pressure. There's also an evolutionary explanation that is both ancient and surprisingly relevant. For most of human history, large, unpredictable groups could mean danger, conflict, competition, contagion. Your amygdala, the brain's threat detection center, reacts faster than logic. It doesn't wait for evidence. It responds to uncertainty. And crowds are uncertainty in motion. You can't predict who will bump into you. You can't anticipate sudden noises. You can't fully monitor your surroundings. So your body chooses vigilance. Vigilance consumes energy. Then there's social evaluation anxiety, which operates almost invisibly. In crowded spaces, you're not just surrounded by people, you're surrounded by potential judgment. This connects to the spotlight effect, a cognitive bias where we overestimate how much others notice our behavior, appearance, or mistakes. You drop something and it feels catastrophic. You stumble slightly and your brain replays it on loop. In reality, most people didn't even register it, but your internal spotlight is bright, too bright. Crowds amplify it, and there's something else that often hides beneath the surface: control. In a quiet environment, you control your pace. You choose when to move, when to speak, when to pause. In a crowd, your rhythm gets interrupted. You wait in lines. You adjust to other people's movements. You squeeze past strangers. For personalities high in trait anxiety or high in conscientiousness, that subtle loss of control feels destabilizing. It's not about hating people, it's about losing predictability. And predictability is deeply calming to the human brain. If you've experienced social rejection, exclusion, or even subtle bullying in the past, crowded environments can quietly reactivate those emotional memories. The brain stores emotional experiences in ways that are not purely verbal. A hallway, a cafeteria, a party where you stood against the wall pretending to text. Your nervous system remembers the sensation before you consciously remember the story. So when you say, "I hate crowded places," it might actually mean, "My nervous system associates this with overwhelm or exposure." That's a completely different narrative, but here's the twist. Most people never consider the same sensitivity that makes crowds draining can make you extraordinarily perceptive. You notice when someone's smile doesn't reach their eyes. You detect shifts in tone before words change. You sense tension in a room that others overlook. Research on highly sensitive individuals suggests stronger activation in brain regions linked to empathy and depth of processing. In other words, your discomfort might be the cost of awareness, like having an emotional radar that never fully powers down. Yes, it can be exhausting, but it can also make you insightful, intuitive, deeply attuned. The goal, maybe, isn't to force yourself to love crowded spaces. Maybe it's to understand how your system works, to plan recovery time, to step outside for air without self-criticism, to choose environments intentionally instead of automatically. Because once you understand your patterns, you stop labeling yourself as antisocial. You start recognizing that you are responsive. You stop thinking you're broken. You start asking what conditions help you thrive. And that question changes everything. Growth doesn't always mean becoming someone who thrives in loud rooms and packed festivals. Sometimes growth means honoring your wiring while gently expanding your comfort zone. Sometimes it means staying a little longer than usual. Sometimes it means leaving early without apology. Both choices require self-awareness. Both require courage. So the next time your chest tightens in a crowded space, don't rush to judge yourself. Pause. Notice. Ask what your body is trying to communicate. Your mind might not be weak. It might be finely tuned. And if this reflection made you see your reactions differently, subscribe and stay curious, because understanding your psychology is one of the most powerful forms of self-respect you can practice.